150,000 tech workers have been laid
Amazon
off
today
in
announcing
2020.
it's going to cut 18,000 workers.
Did you see the recent article that Google and Amazon are struggling to lay off employees in Europe, and they're offering 1 year of salary so that people will leave optionally, voluntarily? So if you were one of the employees, let me ask you, what would you do? Would you take the offer? Or would you say, nope, I'm going to stay because I have invested in this company? And if you want to fire me, you're going to have to go through other channels. They'll still have to pay, won't they? It'll just be a more painful process, perhaps. So what would you do if you were in this situation? If you were a Google or an Amazon employee? Let me ask you also, what is it that brought Google and Amazon to this place? We're seeing this kind of movement all over. People laying off. We're not always seeing a year's worth of salary being offered, although in Europe, by law, there has to be some sort of compensation that's offered. And so that will be, we'll naturally see it there. In US, we're not seeing the same sort of activity, at least not at the moment. But we are seeing the layoffs. So a question maybe underlying all of this is, we know that we hire globally right now because we can, right? As we are working in a hybrid situation, we can hire from any place that we want. We can hire people that have the same, perhaps, engineering background that are in another country, that the cost is lower, so we can hire more of them, get more work done. So when we do layoffs, who is it we're laying off? Is it people with the cheaper labor? Is it the people in the home country that are perhaps more expensive? How are the decisions being made? What are the criteria? Do we have criteria? Does everybody know what those criteria are? I think so much is happening in an ad hoc, fast way in order to meet our numbers, in order to keep our shareholders happy, in order to be able to keep those balance sheets looking good and being able to show our shareholders what it is that we're doing. That we don't always look at what the ramifications are in the long run. How will people look at us? How will people want to work for us in the future? Will they see us as simply one of those companies that just comes and goes? They'll love you today, let you go tomorrow. And we're beginning to ask those questions more and more. Leadership, I think, is going to have to start addressing those issues if we're going to have a stable work environment. And I think the other thing we need to start asking is, what is a stable work environment? Is it a decreased work environment, just core people? And then we go to contract work and bring people in for specific work. That would mean that people might work for several companies. And how do we manage the intellectual property in that kind of a situation? We have to have many agreements. There are changes. The question is, what do we want? And how do we want to help shape that? I think it's a good time for us to begin these discussions. Voice your opinion. We'd love to hear your comments and to know what you think. This is big. It is very important that we have these discussions. So while people are losing their job, we also see that individual debt has increased. The cost of living has gotten higher as we've had inflation. Yes, it has gotten a little bit better in recent months, yet inflation is there and is worrisome to many people. And we're seeing, because of the extensive debt that we had just a few months ago, people took on debt in order to sustain their lifestyle, and now they're being laid off. And so they've got debt, expenses, which they don't have income now to pay back. The question that begins to emerge is, what will happen to our cities? What will happen to our communities? Will we see an impact that will be difficult to pull back from and put energy back into our communities? We are facing issues that are really serious and are important. And I think it requires many of us to begin talking about it and to begin putting input into it. We want to know your comments. Give us your thoughts, please. Let us know in the comment box below. We're eager to hear what you think and what you think needs to be done. Visit our website at www.startwithcollaboration.com. We're eager to help you with the challenges that you face today. There are many, and although there's challenges, there are opportunities. It's knowing how to look for them.